I learned from experience that people of all cultures and races don't think the same. For example, here in America, we have two major parties that pretty much control how this country is ran. We have people that consider some of the two parties radical of the left or radical of the right. We have people that consider some ideals from one of the two parties to be extremists. What I've learned from experience over the years is once a person makes their mind up about how they view things, their thoughts are pretty much locked in. You can argue your viewpoint until the cows come home, and it will not change most people's viewpoints. It could be that they don't see your viewpoint or don't want to see your viewpoint. Whether your view is wrong or right, it's not going to change the way someone thinks. That's why I stopped talking politics. But because of the upcoming election, I got the urge to talk a little bit about it. So I made a comment to someone that it's been documented that the system has been rigged for a particular group to vote for a certain party. Their response was, when you listen to just one man, they'll have you thinking differently. So I said, no, it has been documented that there was a plan to have a particular group of people vote for a certain party. But the walls went up and there was a detour in the conversation. But I recall telling people in my family that if I vote, I will vote because of someone's policy and not because of someone's race or skin color. I believe that a lot of Yahuah's failure was because they didn't keep Yahuah's policies and began putting in self-policies. My thoughts are, if you see a certain party's policies that don't line up with Yahuah's will, why would you vote for that party? By doing so may mean you're rebelling against Yahuah and are bowing down to some dark forces. Whenever Yahuah had a king that Yahuah was pleased with, the kingdom did well. But when there was a king that Yahuah didn't like, the kingdom did poorly. You know that there's a lot of wrong things going on in this country that is against Elohim's will, but people pretend not to see it and turn their heads the other way. I know both parties are messed up, but one party are extremely going against the Father's will with policies Yahuah don't like. And unless we repent from these evil things, our country is doomed. And His wrath is not coming on some of us. No, His wrath is coming on all of us. Some people think that they can just sit back and watch this country go to hell, but people that are sitting back will be under judgment as well. By sitting back and allowing evil policies to take place in this country is the same as doing it yourself. The only reason why other countries were able to defeat Yahuah was because Yahuah Elohim allowed them to. If Yahuah had kept Yahuah's will, their country would have never been defeated. So my question is this: what deity are we serving here in America? If you allow these evil policies to keep in place, you're not servants of Yahuah. You're servants of the devil. First Malachim, and Queen of Sheba heard of the reports of Solomon concerning the name of Yahuah, and came to try him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great company, with camels that bore spices, very much gold and precious stones. And she came to Solomon, and she spoke with him about all that was in her heart. And Solomon answered all her questions. There was no matter hidden for the king that he did not make known to her. And the Queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom of Solomon in the house that he had built, and the food on the table, and the sitting of his servants, and the service of his waiters and their attires, and his cupbearers, and his burnt offerings, which he offered to the house of Yahuah, and there was no more spirit in her. Then she said to the king, the words I heard in my own land about your words, and your wisdom was true. But I did not believe the words until I came and saw with my own eyes, and see, I had not been told the half. Your wisdom and prosperity exceeds the report which I heard. Blessed are your men, and blessed are these your servants, who stand continually before you, who are hearing your wisdom. Blessed be Yahuah, your Elohim, who delighted in you, to put you on the throne of Yahuah, because Yahuah has loved Yahuah forever. Therefore he made you king, to do lawfulness and obedience. And she gave to the king 120 talents of gold, and very many spices and precious stones. Never again did so many spices come as the Queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. And also the ships of Hiram, which brought gold from Ophir, brought almug wood and a great many of the precious stones from Ophir. When the king made steps of the almug wood for the house of Yahuah and for the king's house, also the lyres and the harps for singers, no such almug wood has come or has been seen since this young. And King Shalimar gave the queen of Sheba all she desired, whatever she asked, besides what he gave her according to the hand of King Shalimar. And she turned and went to her land, she and her servants. And the weight of the gold that King Shalimar yielded was 666 talents of gold. Besides that, from men of travel, and of the prophets of traders, and from all the kings of Arabia, and from the governors of the land. And King Shalimar made 200 large shields of beaten gold. 600 pieces of gold went into each shield. And 300 shields of beaten gold, 3 minus the gold, went into the shield. And the king put them into the house of the forest of Lebanon. And the king made a great throne of ivory, and overlaid it with refined gold. The throne had 6 steps, and the top of the throne was round about at the back, and there was armrests on either side of the place of the seat, and 2 lions stood beside the armrests. And 12 lions were standing there, one on each side of the 6 steps. The like of it was never made in any reign. And all the drinking vessels of King Shalimar were made of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were made of refined gold, not of silver, for this was reckoned of little value in the Yemen of Shalimar. For the king had ships of Tarshish at the sea of the fleets of Kiram. Once every 3 years the ships of Tarshish came, bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and bamboos. And King Shalimar was greater than any of the kings of the rest in riches and wisdom. And all the rest sought the presence of Shalimar to hear his wisdom, which Elohim had put in his heart. And they were each bringing his presence, objects of silver and objects of gold, and garments and armors of spices, horses and mules, the matter of a year by year. Shalimar gathered chariots and horsemen, and he had 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horsemen, whom he stationed in the chariot cities, and with the king in Jerusalem. And the king made silver as common in Jerusalem as stones, and he made cedars as plenty as the sycamores which are in the lower country. Shalimar had horses brought out of Mishram and Kay. The king's merchants brought them in Kay at a price. And a chariot came up and went out of Mishram for 600 pieces of silver, and a horse 150. And so by their hand they brought them out of all the kings of the Kittites and the kings of Aram. Sometime I try to imagine what it would be like in the kingdom of heaven, but my imagination can only take me so far. I'm sure it will be a lot more wonderful than my mind can see. That's because Yahuah's mind is far more imaginative than we can see. Like the Queen of Sheba told King Shalimar that she had heard stories about how great his kingdom was, but it's only half of what she could ever imagine. I'm always thinking that whatever this world has to offer is nothing compared to what Yahuah has in store for us in his kingdom. So I'll sell all that I have to be a part of his kingdom. I'm not trying to stay focused on the things of this world. I want to stay focused on Yahuah's kingdom. And the Empress of Sheba heard of the reports of Shalimar, and came to Jerusalem to try Shalimar with hard questions, with a very great company, and camels and bearing spices, and much gold and precious stones. And she came to Shalimar, and she spoke with him about all that was in her heart. And Shalimar answered all her questions, and there was no matter hidden from Shalimar which he did not make known to her. And the Empress of Sheba saw the wisdom of Shalimar, and the house that he had built, and the food on his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the service of his waiters and their attires, and the cupbearers and their attires, and his burnt offerings that he had offered up in the house of Yahuah, and there was no more ruach in her. Then she said to the king, True was the words I heard in my own land about your words and your wisdom. But I did not believe their words until I came and saw with my own eyes, and see, I have not been told the half of the greatness of your wisdom. You exceed the report which I heard. I can see Yahuah's children going into the kingdom and saying, I got report of how wonderful is his kingdom, but this exceeds everything that I could have imagined. I've been giving a lot of thoughts to this channel and its direction. My thoughts are maybe people need to see me and not see me as a phantom. But my thoughts told me if someone really wanted to know who I am, it's not impossible to do. I thought about sometimes Yahushua was hard to identify while he stayed with us here on the arrest. It was one of his Talmudim that gave him up to the Romans and the Pharisees. So a lot of times he stayed in hidden places. He disguised himself from his Talmudim after his resurrection. So I began thinking that people may not like the fact that I don't show my face on my videos, but it's not a sin. Presenting yourself on videos or not presenting yourself, whichever way you choose, is not going against the Father's will. But I wanted people to focus more on Yahuah's words than focusing on me. Some may claim you gotta walk this tightrope in order to serve Yahuah. If anyone says they are walking that tightrope other than Yahushua is a liar, and the truth is not in them. If you say you try to walk that tightrope, but sometimes you fall off, but when you fall off, you get right back on it. And I can see then that you're not far from the kingdom. It's hard to stay balanced on that rope, but when I fall, I get right back on it. I've had a lot of thoughts about the music in the videos. The whole point is you don't want to sin and go against the Father's will. So I had to give great meditations on the matter. Is it sin? Some people believe that music is from the devil. But if all music was from the devil, then why was David playing music to soothe King Saul whenever he had an evil spirit? If music can cause a person to do good instead of doing evil, I see no sin in it. Is there music that is made in the form of witchcraft? I would say absolutely. But if music is a tool to channel the soul, you got to be certain that Yahuah is in the forefront of it all. If there's music that causes a person to behave a certain way, like causing a person to commit sin, then that's evil. If David played music for King Saul to calm down those evil ruachs he had in him, then all music can't be made for evil. Tehillim 139. O Yahuah, you have searched me and know me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thoughts from afar. You sift my path and my lying down, and know well all my ways. For there is not a word on my tongue, but see, O Yahuah, you know it all. You have closed me in behind and before, and laid your hands upon me. Knowledge too wondrous for me. It is high. I am unable to reach it. Where would I go from your ruach? Or where will I flee from your face? If I go into the Shamanim, you are there. If I make up my bed in the grave, see, you are there. I take the wings in the morning, I dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea. There too, your hand will lead me, and your right hand hold me. If I say darkness shall cover me, then Layla would be light to me. Even darkness is not dark to you, for Layla shines as the young, as is darkness, so is light. For you possess my courage, you cover me in my mother's womb. I give thanks to you, for I am awesomely and wondrously made, wonders of your works, and my being knows it well. My bones was not concealed from you when I was shaped in the hidden place, knit together in the depths of the arrest. Your eyes saw my unformed body, in your books all of them were written, the Yemen they were formed, while none was among them. And how precious are your thoughts to me, O all! How great has been the sum of them. If I should count them, they will be more than the sand. When I wake up, I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the lawless, O Lord. Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed. They speak against you wickedly. Bring your enemy to oblivion. Yahuah, do I not hate them who hate you? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? With a complete hatred, I hate them. They have become my enemies. Search me, O all, and know my heart. Try me, and know my thoughts. And see if an adulterous way is in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. If you are an inheritance of the kingdom, whether circumcised or uncircumcised, and began serving other deities, you cannot be one of his. You cannot have 1 foot in the kingdom of Yahuah and 1 foot in this world. If you go out into this world after claiming to receive a taste of Yahuah's kingdom, it makes you an adulterer. There is no way around serving Yahuah and serving other deities. Yahuah had visited King Solomon on more than one occasion while he ruled in Yesharon. But Solomon began looking to other gods because he took his eyes off the one and only true Elohim and began putting his heart on things of the world. For I know your plans I am planning for you, says Yahuah, plans of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expectancy. Yahuah 29:11. Their feet run to evil, and they hurry to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are the thoughts of wickedness, wasting and ruins are in their highways. Yahuah 59:7. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither your ways my ways, says Yahuah. For as the Shamayim are higher than the rest, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Yahuah 55:8-9. When anxiety was great within me, you comforted and delighted my beings. Tehillim 94:19. I hated doubting thoughts, but I love your Torah. Tehillim 119:113. Look, I know your thoughts, and the plots with you will lawless me. Ayuh 21:27. And Yahusha, knowing their thoughts, said, why do you think wicked thoughts in your hearts? Matityahu 9:4. For out of the heart comes wicked reasonings, murders, adulteries, whorings, thefts, malicious witnessings, slanders. Matityahu 15:19. And a sword shall pierce through your own beings also, so as to reveal the thoughts of many hearts. Yahuah know the thoughts of man, that they are but a breath. Scripture says the devil was a liar. At the beginning he was a liar, and he will always be a liar. One of Shaitan's tools is to lie in order to get someone to do something out of the will. He may want a person to do something or not do something, so in order for them to act upon his wish, he lies to them. I find that people with an agenda will turn and twist things to seem more than what it is, or less than what it is, but they must sell the lie in order to achieve it. But still, a lie is a lie, and there is no truth in a lie. So people that go around lying all the time have a wicked ruach in them and are children of the devil. Even our leaders are telling people how well the economy is doing after 4 years, when you can see prices going up. Gas prices have gone up. Groceries, mortgage, insurance have all gone up. One of Elohim laws says to not bear false witness among yourselves. For there are leaders in this country who wants to hold on to power, so they lie to you in order for you to keep trusting them. One of Yahuwah's commandments is to not kill. For there are millions of babies being slaughtered from the womb, and you have one party that believes that you have the right to do so. People who support this kind of behavior are outside the Father's will, and you can get a strong sense that they are children of the devil, and that brings us back to false idols and false worship. The deities they serve says it's okay to murder. Yahuah 7:6-12. If you do not oppress the strangers, the fatherless, and the widows, and do not shed innocent blood in this place, or walk after other mighty ones to your own evil, then I shall let you dwell in this place, in the land that I gave your fathers forever and ever. See, you are trusting in malicious words which do not profit, stealing, murdering, and committing adultery, and swearing falsely, and burning incense to Baal, and walking after other mighty ones you do not know. And you came and stood before me in this house, which is called by my name, and said, we have been delivered, in order to do all these abominations. Has this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Look, I even myself have seen it, says Yahuah. But go now to my place at Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it because of the evil of my people Yesharon. Even though the kingdom is straight and narrow and few find their way in, it's not impossible to get into his kingdom. He says if you love him with all your heart, mind, strength, and soul, he will not despise you. So don't worry about men's tradition with the washing of hands and cleaning of cups. Just follow his ways. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sharing. If Yahuwah is willing, I'll see you on the next video. So until then, stay blessed and be blessed, and continue to be blessed. Hallelujah. Praise Yahuah.